Alright, John Oakes here with Hankster's Hot Rods here in our Homer City, Pennsylvania showroom today. And today we're going over this newest addition to our inventory, a 1957 Ford Fairlane 500. Now this car is done in a metallic black exterior finish. Looks really, really nice out in the sunlight for a car like this. Of course, it's got that kind of like that white, almost kind of like a pearlish type metal that goes down the side of the car here for the trim. That's a real nice piece on this car to kind of separate that black up a little bit. Of course, all of the bright work on this car, your chrome bumpers front and rear, you've got this trim that goes down the side. All of the moldings around the windows, the side glass, around your roof line here, all of that bright work, that is all in really good condition on this car. Nice and straight, polished up, very nice. Again, just the whole overall appearance of this car, really, really nice. Now as far as wheels and tires, we've got 14-inch, these are the chrome Smoothie style wheels here, as you can see. And then as far as the tires go, size on these are 215, 75, R14s, all four corners. And these tires are all brand new, so nothing wrong with these tires at all. As we look at our car, of course you're going to see this right up here on the front fender. This is like a spotlight and the mirror all in one. There's a handle that goes inside the interior of the car that you can use to turn and rotate this to point it wherever you need to see, and it is all functional too. Now as far as the glass goes on this car, you'll see you've got your vent window, of course you've got driver's side glass here, and your quarter window on this car, all of which the glass is in great shape. No chips or cracks in it. I don't even really see any scratching on any of this glass. It looks that good. Of course you can see your gaps also on the front side of your door and as well back here on the rear of the door, all of which looks very uniform front to back. Elevations with the fenders and the quarter panels, those are all good too. Everything lines up. Of course you don't have much for body lines other than just your trim that runs back the doors from the fenders and quarters, all of which does match up. Now we will open our door up, take a look inside at the interior. So we've got the black bench seat, front and rear. You've got black carpeting, the door panels with a little bit of the white and that silver trim there. Of course you've got the factory dash with all the trim up there as well. 120 mile an hour speedo, factory steering wheel. You got a column mount tack in there as well. Hurst floor shifter with Hurst T-handle also. Now the upholstery in this car, it is not leather, it's not vinyl, it's kind of that faux leather, the fake leather stuff, but it all is in good condition, no rips or tears anywhere. Looks really nice on this car. Of course the door sill plates on both sides, those are real nice. Again, seals and weather stripping up along the top of the car and around any of your doors here. All of that is in really good condition. No rips or tears anywhere. It's going to seal up really nice for, from the exterior elements. We'll close it. Go ahead and the door's shut very nice and easy. It's got these door flippers here that go right along the tops of the glass here that kind of help to seal everything up. As I said, your moldings along the roof lines here and so forth around all the glass, those are all in great shape. As we come back, you've got more of the bright work right along the top of that fin, and then of course you see the Fairlane 500 badging on the rear quarter panels. You also see we've got the fender skirts down here too for the rear tires there to help cover them up and give them that look from back in the 50s. As we come around the back side of the car now, we're going to see obviously this big chrome back bumper here. All of the bright work, again, your bezels and so forth around all of your tail lights, the tail light lenses themselves, all in great shape. You've got these bullet shaped rear backup lights here that kind of protrude out that give it a nice look. Also you got your Fairlane badging and insignias back here too on the trunk lid. You've got the locks here that have the covers on them that slide out of the way, and of course down here below you've got these clamshell style exhaust tips that stick out right underneath that rear bumper. Now the trunk lid itself You can see how nicely that fits. All of your elevations and your gaps the whole way around on that. Of course, the rear glass, that's in great shape too, with all of your trim also. Now we're gonna open up our trunk. We'll take a look inside. So just bear with me for 1 second here till I set this down. We're gonna open this up. Okay, so first thing is the trunk lock itself actually works really well. The trunk springs and hinges, those are working very good too, as you can see, holding everything up on its own. The underside of the trunk painted the same black as the exterior of the car, and of course everything finished off really, really nice in here. Of course, you've got the trunk mat here, the carpeting. The trunk floors themselves are in really good shape here. Just trying to find an area that I can peel back. Of course, you've got the spare tire provision along with your spare tire and jack instructions in there as well. So we'll put this all back. And then as far as sealing everything up, all of the trunk weather stripping the whole way around, it goes on the actual trunk lid itself. That's all in place, all nice and soft, so it's going to seal up really nice from the outside elements also. So we'll close this up and we'll continue on. So over to the passenger side. Again, panels nice and straight. Again, all the same matching stuff over on this side. The Ford Fairlane emblems, all of your trim along that top fin, and all the way down the doors as well. Again, you've got the fender skirts down there as well to cover those back wheels up. Got your gaps here on the back side of the door as well as on the front side. Again, very uniform even on the passenger side. All of your glass, your vent window, passenger door window, and your rear quarter window there. All of that again in very nice condition. No chips, cracks, or scratching on any of that. All of your trim and molding all in great shape too. We'll open this side up so you get to see the interior from both sides. So again, the dash is in great condition. As I said, the upholstery, no rips or tears there. It is the faux leather upholstery, but as you can see, carpeting in this car looks to be in great shape. All of your weather stripping around the doors and around all the windows, and your door sill plates, all of that is in really nice shape on this car. Again, that door shuts nice too, closes up nice and tight, and we'll come around now to the front side of the car, to the front end. So up front here, again, this is your typical 57 Ford Fairlane front end. You've got the chrome headlight bezels along with the chrome grille up front. Of course, you've got the big chrome front bumper with the bumperettes down here too. You've got the Fairlane script here right on the header panel. Of course, you got the Ford emblem up on top of that hood as well. Glass lenses here in your headlights, just traditional sealed beam units. So again, no cracks or chips in that. As you look at your gaps here on your hood, the hood fits all very well too. Again, you can see that spotlight here too, maybe a little better from the front. And then of course you've got your glass here for the windshield. Again, that is in nice shape along with all of the trim here. Now this car does have a hood popper on the inside. So we're going to go ahead and pop that so we can talk about the engine now. And this pops and lifts from the back to the front. So if we pull that, we can raise this up. And then we'll come around the side here. I'll go to the other side and we'll talk about the motor. So as far as the engine goes in this car, what you're looking at here is a 312 cubic inch motor with the dual 4-barrel carburetors on it. This would have been typical of your E-code car. This is not an E-code, it is a D-code that would have had a 312 motor in it. However, it would have been a single 4-barrel car. This being the dual quads, again, that's been changed out. It is not the original motor, but yet it is a 312 motor with the dual quads. Motor runs actually really, really good for this car too. You can see it's got the nice air cleaner. It's the Thunderbird air cleaner along with the Thunderbird valve covers. Those are Fender aluminum items there. Of course, the intake on this, it looks to be an aluminum intake as well with those dual quads on it. Now this car is power steering. But manual brakes, it's manual drum brakes, still stops very well for being all drum brakes. Of course, you can see up front here we've got a nice aluminum radiator with a chrome shroud on it. That's going to help cool things a lot better for you. Of course, you've got a looks like a 6-blade fan in there too. That's going to help matters too. Now, as far as the exhaust goes, you've got a set of ceramic coated Reds headers here. This empties into a set of dual exhausts, and I believe, if I remember from memory, I think it has a set of looks like to be like a Flowmaster style muffler on it. So it sounds very, very well too for being a, you know, the car that it is, and a 312 motor. The ignition looks like it's pretty much a stock distributor and coil setup here with the plug wires and so forth. But again, motor seems to run really, really good. Got the breather up here on top of your oil fill tube, and like I said, power steering, manual brakes. Now, behind this motor, we have a it's the 4-speed transmission. And then back to the rear end, it is a 9-inch Ford rear end, 355 gear, and it's a POSI unit that's in that rear end pumpkin. As far as the rear suspension on the car, it does have a set of traction bars on it, but again, with all of the stuff on the underside, we're going to actually get this up on the lift and show you all that stuff like we do with all of our cars. So, having said that, we've already been around the outside now. We've been inside the car, under the hood, and in the trunk. We're going to do that now. We're going to get it on the lift for you, show you the complete underside, and then we'll finally fire this motor up, let you hear what this 312 motor sounds like. Alright, so we are standing underneath our 1957 Ford Fairlane 500. We're going to go through the underside of this car just like we do all of our normal cars here, and we're going to go over steering, suspension, braking, engine, transmission, rear end, the whole drive line, all the suspension, braking, wheels, tires, you name it. When we're under here, we're going to go through it for you. So, starting up front here with the front suspension of our car, we've got all of the stock stamped components here for your suspension, your upper and lower control arms. Those would be your factory stock components here. We've got shocks and springs. Again, those are going to be kind of based along what a stock spring and shock would be for this car. As far as the steering goes on this car, this is a power steering car. All of your tie rods here, you do see here, it's got a little bend in them, but that's not the fact that they are bent and not supposed to be that way. This is exactly the way that these tie rods are supposed to be. Ball joints on all 4 corners of this car on the tie rods, those are all in good shape. Even has the little rubber dust boot covers on all 4 of those, and you can tell everything's been greased and maintained on this car. Even the ball joints on your upper and lower control arms, those you can tell have been greased and maintained as well. As far as the rest of the suspension, it does look like it got a sway bar up front here. So you've got your sway bar bushings here that are mounted to, looks like your lower control arms on this particular car. Those are in good shape. No splits or cracks on any of those. And that's all 4 of them there. So kind of a little different type of sway bar than what we're normally used to seeing under these cars, but that is what the sway bar is consists of on this particular car. As far as the braking system on this car, it is manual brakes. Now this car does have drum brakes all 4 corners, but still stops very well for a drum brake car. And wheels and tires, let's just go over that. That way we get all of that out of the way. We've got a set of steel chrome Smoothie style wheels on this car. And as far as tires, they're all brand new tires, all the same size, and these are 215 75 R14s on this car. So that's steering, suspension, braking, wheels, tires up front. Let's go with the drive line now. Motor, transmission, rear end. Now the engine in this car right now is a 312, and this is the dual 4-barrel motor. Now this is not the original numbers match motor for this. This would have been typically what you would have seen, say, in an E-code car of this caliber, but again, this is not the original motor for this car. Originally it did have a 312 motor in it, but it was just the single 4-barrel car, 4-barrel motor for this car. But like I said, now it's been upgraded a little bit, 312, dual 4-barrel motor in this car. Behind that, we've got the 431 4-speed manual transmission. It's got the flywheel cover on it too, so that's going to protect that flywheel. And as far as the transmission and the engine, the oil pan here, everything is nice and dry, free from any leaks or drips. We come back a little further here to where the drive shaft goes into the transmission. That again, at that seal, that is good and dry also. And then of course you've got your drive shaft, and then come back to your rear end housing. This is a 9-inch Ford rear end here. It's got the POSI unit in the third member, and this is a 355 gear ratio. As far as rear suspension, you can see it's got the multi-leaf rear suspension, just a typical set of gas shocks here. And then of course you can see here it's got these traction bars on there too to kind of help eliminate any kind of wheel hop if you would happen. We'll just kind of look a little further back here at the fuel tank. Fuel tank is in great condition. It looks like it's pretty much a new tank in here. Straps and all the hardware is in good shape. All of your fuel lines and your brake lines and so forth are run along the bottom of the car, very nice and neat. Then when it comes to the frame and the floors, as you've seen as we've been walking back and forth here, the frame is in excellent condition on this car. The floors, same thing. You can actually see these floors are done in the red oxide primer. You can see there's no patching, no holes, no nothing. All of your little, like your drain plug inserts, those are all where they should be. All of your bracing is where it should be too. Nothing has been cut up or anything underneath this car. It looks really, really nice. And then of course, your exhaust system. You've got the cast intake manifolds there, or cast exhaust manifolds. Sorry about that. Then you have the dual exhaust. Looks like what could be a set of Flowmaster mufflers or Flowmaster style of muffler. I do not see any stampings on the bottoms of these. Of course, it may be turned around up to the top there. And of course, that continues on up over top of the rear head housing. And then you've got your dual tailpipes out the rear of the car that exit right underneath your rear bumper. So that is pretty much it. I mean, it's got the emergency brake all hooked up. Like I said, just everything nice and dry underneath here. The floors are in great shape. So that is our 57 Ford Fairlane 500 from the underside. Let's go ahead next. We'll get this off the lift, go underneath the hood now, start this motor up. That way we'll get to hear what that 312 sounds like.